Hello, everyone, and welcome to this session. I'm really excited to be part of this workshop. My name is Judy Braus, and I'm the Executive Director of NAAEE, the North American Association for Environmental Education, and I'm really thrilled to be here. We also are excited to support the work of Green Growth Africa and all of you in this workshop who are doing such incredible work. It's been a great partnership with Adedoyin and all his colleagues, and I'm really honored to be part of this session of the workshop. I really wish I could be with all of you in person, but it was pretty early in the morning. I just want to congratulate Adedoyin and his whole team, first of all, for his vision for green growth, but also to the entire team for the work that you are doing to support environmental education, build leadership, and e-STEAM work throughout Africa and around the world. I really love what you're doing, from recognizing eco-heroes to building the next generation of green leaders, critical thinking skills, focusing on climate education, climate justice, so many important things. And I'll talk a little bit about that in the short time I have today. But I also love that you're highlighting the importance of mentoring and sharing across borders and boundaries so that we can learn from each other. It's so important. So in the short time I have, I want to give a very high level overview of the work that my organization does and the Jeep. And I'll talk more about that and some opportunities that are available to everyone. And then just a few words about education and the participatory sciences. So I'm going to dig right in here. The NAAEE is the Professional Association for Environmental Education. We like to say we're the champion and the backbone organization. We support educators around the world doing this important work. Our mission is to use the power of education to advance environmental literacy and civic engagement to create a more equitable and sustainable future. And I know that's what a lot of us on this call are doing. And we're all about creating positive change in our local communities, at the state, national, provincial level, whatever level we're working with, or at the international level. And we're trying to create this positive societal change through environmental education, which is a really powerful tool to create community change. So we look at environmental education as a critical tool in our toolbox to address environmental and social challenges, many of the issues you all are talking about today. And we focus not only on knowledge and skills, which are critical, but also on the motivation that moves people to do something. If you care about something, you know about it, and you don't do anything, the world hasn't moved forward. So that getting engaged in civic life individually and collectively is really important. And we also focus on justice, equity, diversity, inclusion, and accessibility in everything that we do. And that means thinking about race and ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, religion, disability, and more and more and more. And trying to make sure that everyone has access to high quality environmental education. We, like many of you, work across sectors and audiences in formal and non-formal education and at all levels. And our field is broad, it's interdisciplinary. And so we focus on a lot of different things. I'll just highlight a few things that we do, including building capacity for the field, supporting research and evaluation. We convene people, we strengthen networks, and do a lot of the same work that many of you are doing in your own communities, in your own countries. And then there are certain themes that we really focus on, like climate change education and climate justice, equity and inclusion, early childhood education and environmental education, e-STEM, developing a green workforce, and so much more. And we also do work on policy, helping people become better advocates and better global citizens. Climate change is one of our strategic priorities, and you can find out more if you go to our website and just look under the climate change education under programs. You'll find out a lot of what we do, from survey work and reports to guidelines for excellence to climate justice resources. So you can see some of what's going on in North America and in other parts of the world. And we also focus on excellence in the field of environmental education. And to help support that, we have published 6 sets of guidelines. The 7th is almost done, to look at what does effective practice look like in environmental education. Very iterative process. These are all downloadable from our website. Everything from how do you develop materials to thinking about how do we work better in communities. So if you put your phone against this QR code, you will be able to go right to the website. We also believe that partnerships are key to our work. None of us can do this work alone. And that's why I love sessions like this, where you are hearing from people all over the world who are doing really important work. And we need to collaborate and share what we're doing, because everyone has something to contribute. We often say that NAAEE is a network of networks. I'm just going to talk about the Jeep, one of our networks, and a few other things, but happy to follow up with any of you that might want to know more. And as I mentioned earlier, the Jeep is the Global Environmental Education Partnership. You can go to thejeep.org to find out more. And this is a learning network designed to strengthen environmental education around the world and create a more equitable and sustainable future. It's all about partnerships. We work with so many great people, organizations, and individuals around the world. And NAAEE is the secretariat of this learning network. So we're always trying to spark new ideas and collaborate. And Jeep Africa is one of our emerging hubs. And I like to say that it's one of my favorite, and Adedoyin has been involved in this since the start. We had a webinar last year. We've done several together, and there will be another one this year, as well as planning meetings and looking at how to strengthen the networks that exist across Africa, including Green Growth Africa connected to that. So our goal is to collaborate across borders and share effective practice and spark collaboration and learning. And also looking at how environmental education can help achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. We have 25 case studies on the website that you can check out. We have more than 70 country profiles about what countries are doing in environmental education. And again, it's all on the website and you can check it out. And NAAEE also supports leadership, just like Green Growth Africa does. And it's supporting emerging and current leaders and lots of opportunities. I'll just mention a couple of things that anybody listening can apply for an eSTEM award if you're doing eSTEM work. And that's looking at science, technology, engineering, math. You can throw in the arts, and using the environment as a platform, you can win up to $50,000 to support that work. And just check out our website to find out more. Green Growth Africa won an award in 2022, and still really excited to be working with them. We also have a program called EE 30 Under 30, where we recognize 30 amazing young people from around the world doing incredible work. This is the class of 2023, and we've been doing this program since 2016, and we try to build up our awardees. They can use this on their resume, they can grow professionally, and we often give out grants as we have funding to do that. And you can see we have people from really all over the world. We're really excited, and we keep growing this effort. And Adedoyin also won a 30 Under 30. He was an awardee in 2018 and a Changemaker grantee, and just have been working with him for several years. We also have a challenge for young people who are 15 to 30 years old, anywhere in the world, who have ideas about how to address biodiversity loss and marine debris, and to submit those ideas for a chance to win $1,000 and come to Taiwan for a workshop on these issues if you're into marine conservation. I'll just quickly mention that we also have a learning hub, and I know Green Growth Africa is developing a platform, and we will link. And EE Pro is a virtual learning community for environmental education professionals. And it is trying to just connect people doing similar things and share important topics, resources, opportunities. You can go to eepro.naae.org. There are discussion groups that you can join. All of this is free, just an ability to interact, share, and learn from each other, including a research database, webinars, news, jobs, and more. And then we also convene people. For example, we have our international conference coming up the first week in November. I hope many of you can join. It's a wonderful opportunity to learn and grow and share. And so I did want to mention a few things about education, and Adedoyin asked me to talk about citizen science, or the participatory sciences. We know a lot about what works in education. Unfortunately, we just don't always do it. So I'm just going to highlight a few of the things we know and mention a few things with the participatory sciences. We know that learning by doing, hands-on learning, project-based learning is super important. We know that. We know it takes time and training, but it's super important. Promoting systems thinking, building relationships and networks, providing career opportunities, sharing across boundaries, and collaborating is super important. Providing access to everyone to be able to get a high quality education, no matter who they are, where they live, what their background is, and supporting educators who are the most amazing group of professionals in the world who are doing some of the hardest jobs in the world, supporting young people and adult learners. Student voice and student choice. We know that if students have a chance to investigate issues that they identify and then work together to figure out solutions, they win and the community wins. They learn, they understand how to explore an issue. And if they get support from their peers, as well as other educators and parents and policymakers, it can make a huge difference. We also know that building skills and career opportunities for the 21st century is critical for young people and adults. And it's not just the hard technical skills, it's also skills like creativity, critical thinking. How do we collaborate? How do we communicate? Those are really important. And I just want to say an emphasis on collaboration, learning across borders, learning from each other, how to work in teams, how to empower communities. That is so important for the work we do. And many groups around the world are supporting high quality environmental education. And sometimes we call what we do different names. We have different goals, but overlapping strategies and approaches. And I would love for us to work better together, even though we might call things differently. And if you just look at this, this slide, you can see that many of us are working on many things that overlap, like environmental education is a giant umbrella. But health and civic engagement, climate education and justice, green schools, e-STEAM, we need to work better together so that we can amplify our work and have the power to do more and change policies. And one of the wonderful things that we can support are community science or people-powered science or participatory sciences. It's also been called citizen science. Some people have shied away from that because not everybody is a citizen, but in the global citizens world, it's really anyone in the public, including young people and educators, can work together with scientists and conservationists and health professionals to gather data, analyze data, make sense of data, and learn about these issues. So there are so many projects around the world, like in our country, we have Monarch Watch. All of these projects help provide data and support technical and soft skill development for young people and adults. From collecting data to working in teams, analyzing data, critical thinking, so many important 21st century learning skills. And the topics are endless. You can monitor water quality around the world. There are efforts. In 2 states in our country, they're counting horseshoe crabs because horseshoe crabs are vulnerable and there's overharvesting, habitat loss, and climate change. The counting really helps us know how we're doing. The Christmas bird count, which takes place in more than 20 countries, is one of the oldest community science counts where we really try and capture what people are seeing in terms of where birds are and what birds are where. Measuring snow depth can help us understand more about weather patterns and climate change. You can study climate change, health, and other SDGs, whether it's is there lead in the water to what's going on with mosquitoes around the world. So many possible diseases and things that you can do when you study mosquitoes. Can also study cloud cover to understand more about weather patterns and what's happening. So there are so many groups and platforms around the world doing this work. And if anybody wants more information, just let me know. All around the world, there are incredible groups that are leading citizen science projects on every continent, including Antarctica, doing incredible work. And all of you can join citizen science initiatives as well. And there's just a sample, including Reef Life Survey that's looking at coral reefs around the world. In the United States, there's the Association for Advancing Participatory Sciences to really help research and monitor efforts on all different topics, as I mentioned. So you can check that out at participatory-sciences.org. And there's the SDG Olympiad. Some of you might be involved. The University of Lagos is hosting a class. The deadline was May 8th, but it's really exciting that people are looking at how citizen science can actually help address and think about the SDGs. So community-powered science, which is what I call it, is critical. It helps track species, habitats, weather, health, provides volunteer research and observation support. It builds critical skills and helps empower communities. And it really helps us all understand the process of science. It can also help build careers for a blue and green economy, and think about the policies that support environmental education, climate education, and so much more. This is our tagline: what is the education we need for the world we want? And we're always thinking about how we can do a better job at thinking about what education is going to get us the kind of world we need and want. So what you are all doing is so important. I applaud Green Growth Africa for supporting citizen science and all the work you're doing on so many levels. And thanks to all of you for the work you're doing to advance policy, climate change education, and more. I hope you enjoy the rest of the workshop, and I look forward to hearing from you. Keep the hope, think about solutions, and really, really push the action piece so that we can all make a difference. And I love this quote: you can't wring your hands and roll up your sleeves at the same time. So even if you get discouraged, think about what can you do and what can the people you're working with do to make the world a better place. Thank you all so, so much. It's been great.